All right, before we talk about the supersized Royal Rumble, I want to thank the sponsor of this video. This video is brought to you by Dr. Squatch. Yes, a shower soap sponsorship, because whoever you are watching this, we all got a shower, I hope. My personal favorite, Pine Tar. It's actually just a box, because I used it. I used it all. This was one good, manly smelling bar of soap. I'm telling you, it kind of smelled like John Rambo didn't cut down a tree. No, he ripped it out and then shot it to sawdust with his 50 cal, then took his sweat and slathered the sawdust with his sweat, and they smelted it down to a bar of soap, which you can now rub on your body. It has a natural scrubbing texture, so it scrubs while it cleans. It was a great bar of soap, had me feeling fresh, feeling clean, and smelling great. And Dr. Squatch keeps it natural. They're all about not using the harmful chemicals that you might find in other soaps. I dig that. So click the link below, go to drsquatch.com, use promo code DSCJones20, and new customers get 20% off of purchases $20 or more. And thank you once again to Dr. Squatch for sponsoring this video. I do appreciate it. Godzilla vs. Kong. So Godzilla vs. Kong is the great throwdown between Godzilla and King Kong. We've had the movies building up to this: Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and now Godzilla vs. Kong. That's really all the setup you need, because we know why we're here. Why are we here? We're here to see Godzilla fight Kong. Gonna skip ahead to what I liked about this movie. That shit was cool. This was Clash of the Titans, man. This is Godzilla vs. Kong. This is monsters fighting monsters for our entertainment, with all the disregard for human life that you would come to expect. I think it gets the bronze medal for that, though. Bronze medal behind silver medal winner Man of Steel and gold medalist the entirety of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Still Godzilla vs. Kong. Solid bronze. But it had good size and scale representation, you know? These are huge monsters. They're enormous. They're supposed to feel enormous. I love it when enormous monsters feel enormous on screen, you know? It doesn't always happen that way. Godzilla, Pacific Rim, all felt like enormous things fighting. It doesn't always go down like that. See Pacific Rim Uprising. Just kidding, don't. Just take my word for it. It doesn't always happen that way. So I appreciated that. Rest of the movie is boring humans and uninteresting people doing their boring human, uninteresting people thing in a Godzilla King Kong movie. I feel like that's kind of par for the course. Every time I say that, I feel like there's pushback in the comment section, like, that's how the movies have always been. Well, that sucks. Doesn't mean it's good. Whether it's nefarious human villains or good people trying to be good, it's just like, I wasn't interested in the humans. I'm never interested in the humans in these movies, which kind of shows that monsters fighting is just, it's a great concept, but it's also at max a half an hour of a movie. All right, how do we pad it? I feel like this movie is like a Frankenstein of other scripts that were just on the shelf, and they were like, oh sweet, we have a script for this 80s throwback, couple of kids, couple of youth going out there trying to find out what's what, because as she says in this movie, if we don't, no one else will. Kind of a throwback like Stranger Things. Funny enough, that's Millie Bobby Brown and her friend in this movie. Actually, it's not just them. They hang out with this conspiracy theorist podcaster, which I guess that's a big takeaway in this movie. Conspiracy theory podcasts are, I guess they're just right about things. So alright, they kind of adapted whatever script that was into this movie. What else we got? A Journey to the Center of the Earth remake? I guess that's here too, sure. I mean, it's more Journey to the Center of the Earth than it is Godzilla vs. Kong, really. I feel like that was when the movie asked too much of me. I was like, monsters fighting, great. That? The Journey to the... I was like, I can't make that leap. I just can't. I don't know, it's too much for me. Like, you look at the Godzilla movie that came out that started this whole thing, you know, the Gareth Edwards Godzilla movie, and it's like we had 2015 tech in that movie, and now in Godzilla vs. Kong, we have 2100 tech, and I don't know why or how. It's like, how in a few short years did we advance the tech of that world by 100. The tech in this movie is ridiculous. I'm fine with ridiculous tech in a movie, but it's just such a leap. It has to be a road getting there, you know? There has to be rules, guardrails in these cinematic universes. It's like, no one gives a shit. Movie had conflicting tones, like Millie Bobby Brown and her friend and the conspiracy theory guy. At a point, I was like, the snappy dialogue is just, it's way too humorous. Like, I like the MCU as much as the next person, but after the MCU turned into comedy, it's like every movie that's a big sci-fi adventure has to be comedy now, and it's stupid. It's one of the reasons I like Zack Snyder's Justice League. It goes against that. It's like, nah, we're dark shit. And that's fine. But there's a lot in this movie that just feels like a massive waste of time. Like when Kong's on his side quest, which, I mean, I'll take a side quest with Kong rather than hanging out with humans. But funny enough, Kong is still accompanied by humans, so we're still hanging out with humans. But really, this whole side quest, which visually it looked great. I was like, this will make a great video game or VR experience or something. We're doing this whole thing really for nothing. It was just kind of like, what can we have Kong do? We have two options. Him sitting there with his thumb up his ass, or this. I guess we're gonna do this. I get that the whole thing was, well, he needs to get a weapon. So I guess that's the reason. It's so he gets his weapon. Which basically means that Kong is on the same quest that Thor was on in Avengers Infinity War, but Avengers Infinity War had much more going on, so it's fine to send Thor out to do that. This is like 50% of the interest in this movie is on a dumb side quest. God, I'm bagging on this movie so much, and I know people love these Kong and Godzilla movies, but the monsters fighting were cool. I'm gonna say that every time. I'm like, oh, negative, but the monsters fighting were cool. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry this is happening to you. I did watch it on HBO Max. Maybe that plays into it. While I was watching this movie, I was like, this movie's clearly meant to be seen on the big screen, so I get why the director was pissed. Like, wait, HBO, no, it needs to be on theaters. Come on. So yeah, if you can watch it in theaters, definitely watch this in theaters. You know you're still rocking that HBO Max, so you can watch Zack Snyder's Justice League again. I know you. But if it's one of those movies that's like, oh, you have to watch it on the big screen, that's another way of saying it has a shelf life of its theatrical release. Then after that, I guess, what? You're just never gonna watch it again? That kind of, to me, feels like when 3D was the big craze and everyone was like, oh, 3D, and 3D makes the movie better. It's like if a movie's not gonna be enough without 3D, it's never gonna be enough with it. I mean, it can enhance the experience to a point, but if a movie's not gonna float without the 3D, then what's the point? It's another way of saying it's not a good movie. But in the end, if you want to watch monsters fight each other, if you want to watch Titans throw down, you're going to enjoy 1/4 of this movie. I hope that's enough for you. And if it is, awesome. But if that's not enough for you, you know who you are. The movie's not going to be enough for you. Which means when someone takes the monster fights in this movie and cuts them down to a YouTube video and uploads that onto YouTube, watch it. It's a solid YouTube video worth of entertainment right there. But for me, it's not that the movie concentrates on human characters, it's that it concentrates on human characters that are uninteresting to me. It feels like 25% of this movie is a theme park ride that you signed up for, and the other 3/4 of this movie is standing in line, which is never the fun part of the theme park ride. But for the most part, this movie would have been a better time if I were drunk. Yeah, but the monsters fighting were cool. All right, so Godzilla vs. Kong, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.